Okay. Part 2. I have to record 2 parts. Oh, where was I? So yeah, I asked Youngblood 2 really good questions, and he couldn't do it. He couldn't answer it.
Played any video game seriously since around 2002 or 2003 when I got...
See? He says it right here. I haven't played video games seriously since 2002, 2003. Therefore, how would he know if I was being biased or not if he does not know anything of what I'm talking about? That's a very good question, isn't it? You wouldn't know if someone's policies were wrong if you knew nothing about the policies and alternatives, would you? No, you wouldn't. You wouldn't know if you were getting the best deal on a car if you didn't know anything about cars or anything about what anyone else is selling, would you? No, you wouldn't.
My GameCube. After that, I simply lost interest in gaming because I knew I did not have the financial wherewithal or the ability to update myself on the latest video game paraphernalia, so I jumped ship. However, I feel that all this fighting regarding consoles and PCs is flat out ridiculous. You can say that comparatively one console or PC system is better than the other, but you really cannot make a superlative judgment and state that one is the best out of all of them.
Yes, you can. Because clearly, a platform with endless possibilities is better than a platform that can only reach level 5. Infinity, level 5. Infinity, level 5. Would you rather have a level 5 Pidgey or level 255 and above Missing No? Or Articuno? Or Moltres? Or Mew? Or Mewtwo? Would you rather have a shiny Palkia? Yes, you would. Depending on what version you had.
That is what BLACKbuster does. He has points to back himself up, but he does not realize that in this...
Yeah, and sometimes I don't think he knows of the words that he's talking about. Because in one of his own comments, let me see if I can find it. He talks about how I'm an actor. He acknowledges that I am an actor, yet he's still upset and leaving tons of comments. Let me see if I can find that. Let's see, Youngblood, where are you? Where's that? La 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 la. I think I actually have the screenshot of it. Let me check my new folder. Where's that comment? Actually, I think the comment is actually, he posted in his own video. So let's continue watching.
particular case, the fork in the road splits in 2 directions. Each direction in this case is a valid choice because you are either going to choose PC gaming or console gaming. In either way, you are bound to get entertainment out of either. Complaint?
You can get entertainment out of a game of Pick Up 6 too.
About prices and DLC only complicates the problem, since either way you still have that fork in the road that allows you to choose 2 separate options. It's important to realize that even if you do have a myriad of reasons to back up your points in this particular instance, other people are still deciding to play consoles over the PC.
Okay, that's their opinion, and I'm not arguing about people's opinions. I told them that several times when we were discussing, the YouTube matters. I was like, I don't care about opinions. I'm not stating my own opinion unless I actually say, I think, I believe, and I rarely do that.
So either way, the PC is not perfect, and neither is the console. And making apples to oranges comparisons only serves to split hairs and make other people look arrogant.
It's more like a comparison of an apple and a golden apple from Aphrodite's garden. That's the difference between consoles and PC.
By consequence, you make yourself look as much as an egotist if you want, but if you actually get valid and well thought out criticism, dismissing it only makes you look exceptional.
Criticism. Me ignoring criticism when... What does criticism do? I don't care about what people think about the way I act. But that's ad hominem. These people only talk about the way I act, but they don't hear what I'm saying.
Biased and downright deaf to the other side of the argument. It's like debating over conservatism versus liberalism or the existence of God. It's just another fork in the road that asks you to select one choice, barring the indecisive answer of agnostic or neutral in this case. Now, when BBC did an expose on the owner of a Sonic Hentai website and described the plethora of ways the guy appears...
What do you think, what do you think God is gaming on? What do you think we are? We're basically a game of The Sims on some heavenly PC up there. That's basically all we are. It's like Star Ocean till the end of time. We are a video game, essentially.
Get twisted with his fetishes, that much I agree with. Why? Because of this phrase, child porn is illegal. Because I am a law-abiding citizen and assuming plenty of other people on YouTube, barring those that seek safe haven in forums and other websites that shall not be named justify their unhealthy urge for illegal gratification, I know that this is wrong, and an overwhelming majority believe it is wrong. The fork in the road in this case has a sway on which option to choose from. Should I avoid engaging in distribution of child pornography because I know for a fact it is illegal, or should I risk indulging in an activity that will ultimately have the FBI involved and paying for the rest of my life with jail time? See, in this case, the choice is more black and white, and for most people, the choice is also clear. With gaming, there really is no illegality.
We know it's people's choice between consoles and PC. I'm not talking about people's choices between the two consoles. I'm talking about the ones that offer you freedom and the ones that where you can create a better experience than what the companies are giving you. I'm talking about the factual differences.
Involved. You're picking a console or PC, barring the option of stealing it from a store or purchasing it on the black market, and then playing the video games on it. There really is neither a moral compass nor an ethical issue enveloping the topic. Therefore, debating about this sort of thing can only yield subjective interpretations, and no one person is right or wrong about the issue. I can and will retract the insult I hurled at BBC regarding his attitude on this video.
See, insults. He's attracting insults that he threw at me. Ad hominem. He didn't counter any of my points. He merely attacked me personally. But on Skype, he was talking about how I use ad hominem all the time, which is not only hypocritical, but ad hominem is only when you don't address the person's points. I insult people before and after I counter their points. That's not ad hominem. No, 2 plus 2 doesn't equal fish. It equals 4, stupid. That's what I do.
And the Mystery Oven Things commentary.
And not to, here's the comment I was talking about. That terrible commentary that Mystery Oven Thing did. Oh man, that was horrible. That was absolutely horrible. But to Youngblood, it was like a sign of God. He says, TMOT, TMOT, you're a true hero. Thank you for making this. You are now permanently in my debt. BBC's over the top. BBC is ridiculous. BBC is an argumentative idiot who wants to start wars because he wants to defend his own shit. It's really ridiculous. And not to mention, he's an egotistical, histrionic jerk when he wants to be. He's saying I can act like an egotistical jerk when I want to. Yet, he's upset. And this guy that made this terrible commentary, who talks like, hey, guys, I hate people who think their opinion is better than everyone else's. And he really talks like that. And he makes no points in the entire video. And evidently, one of the smartest guys in the commentary community says, that's a great commentary. You made great points. You are my hero. I look up to you. You are a virtuous person. And all this happened because a nigger put on a suit. These people fell like dominoes, one after the other, because a nigger put on a suit. Like I told you guys earlier, I made these people jump on a bandwagon, which is what they criticize each other for doing. I manipulated them. I exposed their ignorance, their hypocrisy. I've exposed how they lie, their inability to listen, their bias. I made them shut down accounts, pull the trolling card. They've white-knighted, they've retracted, they've backpedaled, they've contradicted, they've cowered in fear, some of them, and I made them stay up past their bedtime. Yep. All because I put on a suit, used this smile of mine, and made a video. A video that only took me 10 minutes to record. You guys see those videos? No jump cuts. None. I turn it on. I do the spill. It's all up here. It's all up here. These things aren't planned. It's one take, 10 minutes, 20 minutes in, to edit in the pictures. A little bit longer to do the Photoshop and stuff that I do. Rendered, uploaded, and it ruins their day. I'll tell you one thing, it takes a lot more time to make a commentary than it does to do the videos I do. It doesn't take me very long to do a commentary because I can just hit the record button, say what I gotta say, and be on to the next thing. But I can see how it can take these people a long time. Because you have to stop, put in a picture, record a new part, cut the video, then click over here, put in a new picture, record the audio. No, it's not a feeling of being proud. It's funny, Nico. It's funny. Are you listening to me? These people got upset and fell like dominoes over a nigger in a suit. Spilling out facts. It's not a matter of being proud. It's funny. Nico, who am I arguing with? Please tell me who I'm arguing with. It's not an argument, Nico. It's mind rape. When you're up here and they're down here, that's not an argument, Nico. That's slaughter. That's slaughter. Why do you think it doesn't take me any effort to do these videos? Because it's easy. It's easy. This stuff's not hard. And they come to me. They give me exactly what I want. I don't have to act the way I do. I do because that's what gets people's minds in the palm of my hands. Did I make Vesper Snake come to me? No. He came to me of his own free will. He came to my USTREAM. He added me on Skype, and I changed his mind and molded it like clay in 7 minutes. Effortless. It's not an argument. There's no arguments here. The only person I argue with is my girl. That is the only person I can really, truly argue with. And she beats me no matter whether I'm right or wrong. She's the only one that can do that. Because she's the only one that can affect me. She's the only one that can emotionally affect me. That's just how it is. It's not a matter of being whipped, okay? She's just as smart as I am, and that's what I love about her. I can argue with her. Every day is not boring with her. I can talk to her for hours upon hours. Nico, how many comments did you leave on that video? But you say you know better? You know I'm including you among all the other commentating community people. If I was 12, I still could beat these people. Because BBC has been sharp since he was a kid. I mean, in the 4th grade, my teacher gave me an A just because I was charismatic and made her laugh. Yeah, and Nico, you ran alongside, side by side, arm in arm, down the yellow brick road with 12-year-olds and people who are very ignorant and were wrong from the first place. People who don't listen to logic, and I can factually show you why they're stupid. You supported these people. Go read your comments. Go read your comments, Nico. This is just fun for me. It's fun making these people upset. It's fun making these people stay up past their bedtime. You supported Gligar, the Mystery of a Thing, Youngblood, and Elite Casual Gamer. And those are 4 people that are gonna get exposed big time. And so what do you look like exposing these people who are biased, ignorant, hypocritical? Oh really? So maybe we should go over to Gligar's video and see what you had to say. It's just beautiful. Just beautiful. All the things that, it's amazing of the things that happen because I took 10 minutes out of my day to make a video. Don't you see the magic in that? All the people that have been exposed because a nigger put on a suit and talked for 10 minutes in a video? And the reason why these people were wrong, the reason why these people made such bad commentaries is because they are biased and because they have something against me personally. And that's exactly what they accuse me of being biased. Oh. Step 1, wear a suit. Step 2, have a nice smile. You guys have no clue where this smile's got me. This smile's got me a lot of things. Number 3, tell the truth. Number 4, okay, what does being an elitist have to do with me stating the truth? Does the way I act offend you? Does it bother you? If it does, it's time to get off the internet. If the way I act bothers anyone, they need to just get off the internet. Step 6, question mark. Step 7, profit. No, not question mark. Exclamation mark. Profit. Money in the bank. Mine's in the pocket. It's so easy. Let me give an example. Let me give you all an example of how this stuff works. All the people I've debated, I've either challenged them or they've challenged me. But I've always left it up to them when it should be. For me, it's always, I can go right now. Some of these people, they gotta wait a week, gotta wait a few days, or wait a few hours. They gotta get ready. I don't need to get ready. Because I already know. It's already all up here. In all the debates, I prepared one thing. That's because the person I was debating, I knew, actually 2 things I prepared. There's only 2 different instances where I prepared something. When I talked to Life in a Tent, and when I talked to Hip Hop Gamer. Because I could read these people like a book. And I knew what points they were going to bring up. So for Life in a Tent, I prepared his own statements, his own voice. I owned him with his own voice. Hip Hop Gamer, I prepared a piece of paper. Because I knew he was going to say how great Vanquish looked on a big screen TV. When the actual resolution of Vanquish is actually this big. This is how big the game is. This is its normal resolution. And he says that it looks better, it looks great on a screen stretched this big. So yeah, if you take a tiny ass picture and you stretch it 20 times the size, it's gonna look great, right? And I took out the piece of paper. I was like, you know, Hip Hop Gamer, I knew you were gonna mention Vanquish. You see that? That is the resolution, the native resolution of Vanquish. And you know what? You're saying that looks good on a 50-inch screen? Come on, son. Too easy. Oh, and the debate with the Retech USA, that was funny. I made him counter himself, and as soon as he realized that no, wait a minute. He's like, you don't have to update anything on the consoles. I was like, oh yeah? What kind of 360 did you have? I had an arcade unit. Okay, so you had an arcade unit and you don't have a hard drive, right? So there's certain games you couldn't play, right? He was like, well, yeah. So how'd you fix that? I had to get a USB drive to use for my 360. So you had to buy another piece of hardware to extend the experience on your console in order to play games. He said, yeah. Wait, no, that's different. Easy. You guys see, the way I debate, I listen. If you guys see what I do, I listen. I hear every word they say, which is why they get it. They get the BBC in the air. Because I actually listen. And I remember everything they say. I don't have bias against these people or what they support. I let them do most of the talking. And mostly what I do, you see me ask questions. And when they make a statement, I say what their logic is. They agree. I say, therefore, this and this. And when you put it that way, doesn't look too good, does it?
On him, because I know for a fact that what I said was exceptionally out of line.
I know people always say that I'm arrogant, I'm cocky, I'm an elitist. Maybe a nigga is just confident in his own abilities. There's something called self-confidence. I have confidence in my own knowledge. I have confidence in my own abilities. And that's a bad thing? See, when people say that I'm arrogant, I'm cocky, you know what it says to me? That you're threatened. You are subconsciously threatened. Because that's why you have to say things about me. Things like arrogant and cocky are always taken in a negative light. But for me, I'm merely confident. And according to my track record, I think I have a very good reason to be confident in my own abilities. I've always been that way since I was a kid. Always confident. I told Mr. Allen in 7th grade on our test about the Hindu religion in social studies that I was going to get a 100. He told me, yeah, sure thing. And you know what happened? Mr. Allen had to come in and tell everyone who got the highest score. This fool got 100% on that test. Every single question.
However, this anger stems from the console PC argument in general. You're simply making comparisons between two separate modes of gaming, and ultimately, even with all the...
Yeah, people hate it because I'm confident, but I back up everything I say. If I was really a fanboy and cocky and arrogant and elitist and biased, I'd be the most defeatable person on YouTube. People would be able to own me easily. I wouldn't be able to counter anyone. Because evidently, what I'm saying isn't going to be right because I'm blinded. I don't listen. But I do. And that's why every single person that has debated me has fallen flat on their face. I'm not saying I'm unbeatable. No one is unbeatable. It's that there's really no one here on YouTube that can do so. Especially not about the things that I'm talking about. Because the only time I talk about these things is the facts. I don't state my opinion, which is what these people need to realize. They label it as my opinion because in their own minds, an opinion is the only thing you can counter. So when they try to counter it, they say something stupid. And when I expose them, they flag the video down. They try to expose me for being stupid, but when I expose them for being stupid, it gets flagged and disappears. My commentaries on all of them are like 40 minutes long. I did 3 commentaries. The one on Glygars, Elite Casual Gamers, and the Mystery Oven thing. Because those are the 3 main commentaries. And on Elite Casual Gamers' response to Youngblood. Because he said a lot of things in that. But in these commentaries, I do things that all these other commentators don't do. I put notes in the corner of the video when they make a statement, so that not only are so I'm giving you the opportunity to not just listen to what I'm saying. I'm showing you what these people are saying, and they're going to have to back up later, so you yourself can listen to what they say and see if they prove their own statements. Because a lot of them say things like, this is going to bite him later, or this is going to kick him in the butt later, or he's going to counter himself later, or BBC is this, BBC does that later on. I put that in the notes in the corner for everyone to see. And you know what? It never gets proven. And these people, man, they always try to state my logic. They always try to state my logic, and they're just flat out wrong. Like, they make points. This is the note taker up here. These are the note takers. And it goes, whew, whew. Okay, note taker. And you know what? Every single time someone posts a thread of on V about me, they always think it's me. I don't browse V. I don't even go to 4chan. I go to a very select few websites. My anime websites, so I can watch my anime, Pirate Bay, YouTube, N4G, and like maybe 3 other places. That's it. But yeah, a lot of V people do respect me because I'm factual. That's why. I get a lot of respect on YouTube because I am factual.
Complaints and disadvantages factored in, you still have entertainment at your fingertips. And it should not really matter which is...
I mean, there's no reason to troll someone if you're not trolling with the truth and for great justice. There really is no point. There isn't any point. I mean, if you do something stupid to troll someone, people are just going to think you're stupid. And that's all you're going to get. If I make a video response to someone simply stating the opposite of everything they said, but what they said is the truth, and I just say everything they say is an opinion, and I give poor examples of what I'm talking about, like League Casual Gamer did, saying that Metroid Prime Trilogy is an example of a company that's cheating gamers, of a game that's cheating gamers. Retro Studios cheated gamers by redoing 2 GameCube games that had no motion controls and put those 2 games on the same disc as Metroid Prime 3 2 years later after Metroid Prime 3 released. For the same price that Metroid Prime 3 was still in retail. You see what I'm saying? The reason why these people make bad points is because there is no point against what I'm saying. It's as simple as that. But these people they don't get that. They don't understand. And it really boggles my mind.
Better or worse. Whatever works for you is all fine and dandy. And if you really do hate the capitalism of corporations, the best option would be not to play a game and not conduct...
And he makes the same point right here that those other idiots make. If you hate the companies, then don't support any of them. These fools, this just shows you how they're not listening. I hate the companies that are cheating people. I don't support the companies that are getting their money by cheating and nickel and diming the consumers. This has been obvious from day one, but these people don't hear it.
Business with the company, not record a 70-minute long debate with someone from the opposite side of the argument and claim to own him when he actually mentioned sad but true inevitabilities of the corporation. They exist to make money first and foremost, and then they try to serve the people. No corporation equals no games. So to lambast the corporation serves nothing unless you as a person resort to action and refuse to buy the games.
There's plenty of indie developers out there, and there's if the gaming market on the consoles die, the PC gaming market will always live on, always, and that's just a fact.
That's the only way corporations can be impacted, by you declaring independence from their practices in general. A quick disclaimer. This is simply my viewpoint and do not want to assume that I am right or wrong here. I will not declare specifications as the end-all be-all, much as how BBC did, and not
Wait, what?
that I am right or wrong here. I will not declare specifications as the end-all be-all, much as how BBC did, and I will not resort to ad hominem attacks.
I give facts. Facts are the end all of all arguments.
Much as how BBC did. However,
Wait a minute.
and I will not resort to ad hominem attacks.
I will not resort to ad hominem attacks. But in your own video, you said you insulted me. And on Skype, right after you posted this video, you ad hominem me. Talking about how obnoxious I am, and elitist I am, and how biased I am.
Much as how BBC did. However, Gligar substandard trolling coupled with Vesper's sad attempt to annoy BBC did give BBC.
Gligar trolls himself. To me, PC gaming is one continuous generation. It simply evolves. That's it. It's just something that continually just evolves. New hardware, more efficient hardware, less costly hardware, new engines, new games. That's really all there is to it. Give me a second. I mean, come on. If we were to even call PCs, as in the same generation as with the consoles, when it begins and ends, PCs from last generation can still run games from this generation. Which kind of, makes that point that it's not really defined by a single generation. I mean, Call of Duty 4, for example, is one of the least demanding games I've ever seen this generation. And that really goes for just about any Call of Duty, really. But Gligar makes the point that, look at people who are playing Call of Duty 4 on Intel graphics. When there's people on YouTube playing Call of Duty 4 on Intel graphics 2000, 3000, and playing Call of Duty in higher than 720p, 60 frames per second, and every other option is on very high.
More ammo, not in terms of his opinions, but in terms of his credibility. Vesper, I respect Vesper's sad attempt to annoy BBC, did give BBC more ammo.
And see, he says it, but he doesn't understand it. As he said, talking to me only gave me more ammo, which it does. The more these people talk to me, the more they talk about me too, all it does is put more bullets in my clips. While they're sitting there with nothing, they're handing me guns, they're handing me bombs, they're handing me military tactical vehicles to kill them with. Here you go, BBC. I developed this virus for you to kill me with. It only affects me. Thank you. And he goes from telling Vesper that talking to me only gives me more ammo, and what does he do? He talks to me.
Not in terms of his opinions, but in terms of his credibility. Vesper, I respect you as a person and as a commentator, but really, how can you consider Gligar a good troll when his trolling consists of deliberately fudging the facts to get people angry? You get a reaction out of people, sure, but they appear more confused than anything else. And his trolling did not elicit a reaction out of me because I knew he was deliberately modifying the data. Labeling something as innocuous as that.
Yes, when people make bad commentaries, they're deliberately modifying the data.
As trolling.
Why not just say they purposely get the facts wrong?
Is ludicrous, and this goes back to when I talked about how the definition of the word trolling has been diluted for the longest time now. Everything is trolling to you guys, and honestly, I am this close to manifesting paranoia because I fear everything.
It's just weird to hear him talk about and, criticize these people for, all this trolling support when that's exactly what he did.
I will ever say will be regarded as trolling, and that especially bothers me. If people don't have the power of discernment and regard all things as trolling, then they look like fools. And Vesper, I'm sorry to say it, but you look like a fool. This, in turn, brings me back to my next point concerning the commentary community. We already got bad press regarding the goings-on in our community at present, but given that BBC knew that Gligar was trolling poorly, and given that Vesper defended it, and given that his fans have a tendency to agree with him on everything, it's pretty obvious that the community is going to gain even more Sigma points.
Yes, he is right about that. The commentary community does not get good publicity. But I'm about to change that by taking over the commentary community. Because they need someone that's going to listen. Part of making a commentary is making a valid response to a person's video and counting every single one of their points piece by piece. Because you're playing their video and then putting in your input. But all these people, including Youngblood, all ignored every single point I made. And they made points that were actually countered later on in the video, and they didn't even acknowledge it. And then they step on their own words all the time, like the Elite Casual Gamer. He says that boycotting is when you go out in front of a place and, sit outside the, building. That's a boycott. But he says what I'm doing on the internet, talking about these issues and the companies, only advertises these companies and gives them more sales. But later on in his video, he says to do a proper boycott on the internet, you should, make blogs about it. But according to him, isn't that only going to advertise the product and get them more sales?
To add to his already festering bad reputation. If you guys actually had relevant points to argue with BBC, then I would let this slide.
Relevant points. I would like those. But I don't leave people the option to have relative points.
However, since you all tried to defend something that was poorly done to begin with, people are going to interpret it as a failure on our part. However, the only thing redeeming us at this point is that BBC states that Gligar is the one that flagged down his USTREAM Part 1 video, even though at this point it's a silly assumption. After watching...
I said the commentating community. I was referring to everyone in Gligar's little, circle. All these commentators have had videos flagged down when they've done videos on certain people. It doesn't matter to me if it was the actual person or their fan base. It just shows how sensitive whichever one did it is.
This video, in which BBC talks to even more members of the commentary community, I feel he was generalizing. True, he can say that through his experience that other...
But these people generalize my fan base all the time. BBC fanboys are the worst. They generalize all the time about my fan base.
People who disagree with his points flagged his videos down because they were unable to compartmentalize criticism, but the waters can be muddied when you have people like this come into channels claiming to flag.
And then he takes troll accounts like Brother Natural claiming he flagged my video down.
down videos. At this point, it's anyone's guess. You can be biased and state from experience that this happens, but bear in mind, anyone has the ability to flag, and this person possibly did flag for the sake of being a full-fledged troll. The YouTube flagging system in general is run by algorithms to begin with, albeit flawed algorithms, and so any frivolous flag claim can be honored by these algorithms and can cause a video to be removed. Then again, this is the only redeeming information we have. In the end, all parties are at fault. BBC at first had a mitigated bias, while West.
And again, he says, I was at fault because I had this unbelievable amount of bias that he can't prove, that I asked him to prove, and he couldn't. I asked him, I was like, if you are so sure that I am biased, give me one example. Give me one. Give me one example, Youngblood. Couldn't. I can show how these people are biased, because when you're biased, you don't listen and you make bad points. That's bias. Because you make points on something when you are ignorant.
For trying to defend inferior trolling. But really all this comes down to is fighting over video games. And in the end, debating over small minutiae such as how to play the games waste other people's time and brain power. In one of the MP3 files BBC posted in the description of his USTREAM Part 2 video, I pretty much stated to BBC that all this is comparing apples to oranges because in the end it does not matter. And I preface it by saying I could be wrong, which meant that I was willing to hear what BBC had to say. Unlike many people in the community, I actually have an understanding of debating, so again, BBC succumbed.
I actually have an understanding of debating, yet you claimed I ad hominem attacked you when you had the definition of ad hominem wrong.
To the logical fallacy of generalization. He generalizes console fanboys, generalizes other groups, and of course generalizes the commentary community, but has every reason to, considering parts of our community try to troll him in a rather shoddy form. To finish, I just want to make one more quick analogy. I liken the whole console war issue to an issue that is relevant in the music world since I'm a huge fan of music. There is something called the loudness war, and even the word war is utilized for this particular conflict.
This is completely
in music, certain albums are re-released to update commercial sales, but people have noticed that whatever. And people should not be ostracized because somehow you bought a copy of What's the Story Morning Glory by Oasis, listened to it, and then later be accused of liking a loud album. What is the problem here? You like the album. That is all there is to it. And that's all I have to say concerning all this. This is Youngblood Fantasy 91, and ladies and gentlemen, I'll see you a little brighter later.
You know, I should add this to my archive account. This is a pretty bad video. Anyway, guys, we've been here for quite a while. And, yeah, people actually praised it, too. But I'm going to go ahead and end it and jump on some Left 4 Dead. You'll have a good night, and I'll see you in the near future. This is BBC 920. This is BBC 920, and I'll see you in the near future.